All right, guys, let's take a look at the Bell & Ross BR V2-93 GMT style watch here. So big thanks to my buddy Scott, who I actually physically met out in my California meetup, and he was wearing this. I let him check out my Rolex at the time. He checked that out for a little bit, and I wore this for a few minutes. And I have to say, I was actually kind of impressed, mostly because its overall look, clean presentation, and its case size just works so well. Now you can get this on bracelet, or in this case it's on a Tropic rubber strap, Tropic style. I guess this is kind of Tropic style, maybe not. But overall, I think it's just a well executed design, and it's very universal in its acceptance in the watch community just because of its look and its function. So let's get into this. The case size, 41 millimeter, lug to lug, 47.75, so really close to that 48. I think there's a lot of watches that are around that 41 to 48 size that I think a lot of people will enjoy. Thickness on this is 12.3, but that's that boxed and double domed sapphire crystal. If you were to measure just the case and delete that crystal, which it might need that boxed domed crystal to clear the hand stack, I'm not 100% sure. But if you could do a flat one or just a double dome, not boxed in there. Anyway, let me get back to the case. If you were to measure just the case, so the top of the bezel to the bottom of the case, it's only like 10 millimeter thick. So it's a really thin watch regardless of what crystal is on it. 22 millimeter lug width, so a little bit wider there than you would typically see with a watch this size using like a 20 mil, but the strap tapers down to 18, and I believe the bracelet tapers down to 18, if not 16. Maybe one day I'll see one on metal. Just under 6 millimeter crown, so 5.9 millimeter crown. You can see it's signed with just the and symbol, so interesting. And I think it's like epoxy filled or something. It's kind of smooth. 89 grams is what this weighs in this configuration. It does have a screw down crown. It is 100 meter water resist, but it does have a screw down crown. Nice little pop to it, nothing crazy. You can feel the wind on it, and then of course, first position, you're going to be able to set the date as long as you're in the date setting time zone area. And then the last position, you're going to be able to hack the movement and adjust the time, which will also adjust the GMT hand forward. And actually, even in that first position where you set the date, you'll actually be able to set the GMT hand forward as well. So because it's using the ETA 2893, it is that style of movement. So it's not, you can't operate the GMT hand forward or backward in this case. The caliber used in this one, because Bell & Ross is branding it, is BR-CAL.303, but it's an ETA 2893. I don't really see any major modifications with it other than the Bell & Ross signed rotor, which is nothing crazy special or anything, right? It's not even really decorated. They actually laser printed on the display case back here some information, GMT 24-hour, and then it just has the jet flying around the globe. A little bit of other information on the back there as well. So back to the front. What are we looking at here? We're looking at just a clean design. Bell & Ross, GMT, automatic, Swiss made. No other writing on the dial other than the 12, 3, 6, and 9 Arabics. And then, of course, you have your date window in between the 4 and 5 centered, but also you'll notice that it's a circular cutout date window, so it just kind of is there. It doesn't really like upset the balance or anything. And they actually printed on the black date wheel with white the numbers in such a fashion that it's on the same plane as the 12, 3, 6, and 9. So it's not like twisted or anything. A little extra attention to detail and getting all that lined up is, those aren't off-the-shelf parts. That's a, designed just for this watch. A pretty ink black lacquered dial on this. Very clean, well done. Makes it super legible. You will notice, actually I noticed a scratch on the crystal right there. I cannot wipe it off, so I'm assuming that's a scratch. And check out this case. Let me wipe it down real quick. You can see Scott is an actual pilot, and he wears this and uses it. The case shows it. There are scratches and blemishes and little dings and everything like that. And there's only one other person I know that has put a mark on a sapphire crystal like that. So, and I've handled a lot of watches, so pretty impressive that you could do that. I'm sure he bumped it, you know, doing something with his job, and sometimes that happens. You have an aluminum bezel insert. You have a little lume pip up there at the 24-hour. This is a bi-directional 24-click GMT bezel. So that's the proper way to do a GMT bezel. In my opinion, anyone else doing it, anything other than that, is failing to recognize the true intention of the bezel. So the way this one works also feels way different than any other bezel. It feels like you have to overcome, you know, like a lock, and then once you do, it's on this like smooth, man, it might even be ceramic. I'm not 100% sure, but and then it drops into place with a thud, and there is zero play and zero movement. There's no mushiness to this at all. It's very positive and sure. It's not gonna get moved on you. So you're gonna be able to track your third time zone, or however you want to do that. You're gonna be able to track that very easily and securely with this bezel action. Nice coin edge on it, plenty of traction. You're gonna be able to turn it. It's just there's the right amount of resistance on it that you would want to retain that setting. Put on wrist, and then we'll close out with a lume shot. The price on these retail, what I'm finding, and I'll put a link in the description, is $3,700. I will say the strap is actually kind of short for a 7¼ inch wrist. I don't have a ton of extra there. So if you have a larger wrist, you might want to look at a different strap, or I'm not sure what the bracelet option looks like, but there it is on my 7¼ inch wrist. Looks and feels great. Weighing in at 89 grams in this format is going to be a very usable watch. Not a problem there. Used, I'm seeing these used clean around $2,500, I think is what I'm finding. Maybe more for the bracelet option. So if you can pick up one of these for like sub 2,000, I think you have yourself a killer deal on a killer watch. I mean, it's just a good, clean design. I don't know much about Bell & Ross. I haven't had a ton of them on the show here. That BR05 or whatever I had, I was smitten with that. I like that square, and that's their primary design. I think when people think of Bell & Ross, is more of a, you know, an airline, you know, kind of square-ish watch. So nice lume on this. I like that they loomed the 12, 3, 6, and 9. Plenty legible. Looks to be either a really good application of C1 or possibly C3. It doesn't seem like it's fading quick at all, so it might be C3. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Big thanks to Scott for showing this. I'll see you in the next one.